morning, everybody. Tara asked me to just say a few words about what we're doing here and why we did it. So I thought I'd talk a bit about why we study engineering and what the value of this is for you guys as young students going out into the world. We talked a little bit earlier about what engineering is, and we defined it broadly as using technology to solve problems. And we've given you a taste of what happens when you do engineering. You build prototypes, you test them, you create models of the world. And I think that you may have just an appetizer of what may come if you choose to study physics or mechanical engineering or electrical engineering or any of the other fields. So, you know, what are we actually getting out of this? Sorry, I have to refer to my notes since I just made this up. Well, first of all, I mean, I think you should realize that for those of you who want to study science and engineering, this is a great time to do it because we have tremendous opportunities available. We have tremendous technologies that we can build upon. Engineering is a continuum, you know. It doesn't just get reinvented every year. All design that you do is redesigned. Every time you visit a design problem, you should look at what other people did and try to stand on their shoulders, right? So this is a great time to do engineering or to use science because the world really needs you. And how does the world need you? Well, you know, how are we going to get our civilization off of this planet as our population grows and grows? How are we going to get to other planets? How are we going to explore other worlds? How are we going to fight diseases, right? How are we going to build the equipment that doctors use to save lives every day, right? I mean, somebody's got to figure that out. And so there's a societal challenge that you guys can meet by studying science and engineering. How are we going to meet the energy needs of the planet, right? We have so many problems and wars and difficulties in our society because of the energy that we use. So these are all things that are reasons why engineering is important and valuable for you and a worthwhile thing to study. But you might be thinking, well, engineering is great and I understand that some people need to do it, but you know, it's really not for me. And so, you know, why am I doing this course? What's the point? You know, so for those of you, I mean, I would say that there's a lot that you can learn while studying engineering that you can apply to other fields as well. And I would say that, for example, there's creating models of the world, right? So when we want to understand something complex, we take its essential elements and we put them into a form that's easy for us to use. And it gives us a tool by which we can analyze things, by which we can predict the behavior of something, right? And that aspect of engineering modeling is something that you'll find in every other field that you study, you know, be it economics or medicine or even history or law. So I think that using models is an important lesson to learn. Another is synthesis of different kinds of knowledge. And you've seen here that you know, you weren't able to build these projects using just a textbook or using just batteries and wire, right? You had to take many different kinds of ways of understanding the world and connect them together, okay? So that's something that you can also apply. And finally, I think that engineering teaches you to be familiar with failure, you know? So when you use materials, right, I'm sure that every one of you had a moment in your project where you tried to build something and something broke, right? It fell apart. The glue came off, you know, the motor wasn't able to turn fast enough. It didn't produce enough electricity to turn on the light. Okay, so the lesson there is that in engineering, failure is actually part of progress. Okay, failure isn't that the thing didn't work, okay, because that's just information. That's an answer. That's a result that you can use to move forward. You know, real failure would be if you stop trying and stop trying to achieve your goal. So with that, I'd like to pass it back to Tara and give it back to you.